So is it just me, or is anyone else questioning the new next-generation gaming consoles from both Sony and Microsoft? I mean, back in the day, you'd be able to pick up a PS2 or a PS3 and be able to see a significant improvement in both graphics quality and frame rate across many of the games and titles that you would be playing. Even jump forward to moving from the PlayStation 3 through to the PlayStation 4, you still saw a massive leap in both graphical fidelity along with overall gaming experiences. And this would be experienced on both sides of the fence, where this would be Microsoft with the Xbox One moving from the Xbox 360, or the transition from the PS3 through to the PS4. But interestingly enough, you fast tracked through to the PS5 and Xbox One X and Xbox One S, and I guess you see a lot less compelling value when it comes to modern gaming consoles, gaming titles, and even the overall graphical fidelity and frame rates that you get out of these everyday consoles. How's it going, good people? My name's Pedro, and today we're going to talk about the Xbox One X and PlayStation 5, the next generation of console gaming. We're going to understand effectively what are my gripes with the console market as it is today, and basically understand if there is a solution or if we're all just effectively locked into the console realm. And just for argument's sake, I'm not really going to consider the PC market to be a viable option here. I understand that for many people, building or buying a gaming PC is great, and I say power to you. And there are plenty of other videos on this channel that talk about building a PC, so feel free to go and check those ones out. But today we're going to talk about the console gamers out there, and specifically understand what is the actual lack of value that they're currently not receiving on their platforms of choice, and then see if I have an answer to their problems. So when we talk about the next generation of gaming, I guess what exactly are we entailing out here? Is it just to have a similar experience of sitting on your couch, holding a controller, and just using a television as you had before? For some people, yes, that is exactly what they want, and that's all they'll ever really need. But for a large majority of people out there, I feel that traditional gaming on a console has become a little stale in 2021. Being locked at home for many months throughout all of 2020, everyone has gotten a chance to play through their extensive library of games, and all in all, people would be feeling very sort of lackluster in 2021, having to just experience games in the same sort of manner and the same sort of format as they have done for the last year or the last 10 years if we count back through all of the previous iterations of these gaming consoles as well. But I'm happy to say that there is a way forward. There is a new medium that I really think is picking up, and that I think has a massive potential to take off for you and me as consumers, whether you are a more budget-friendly or a budget-conscious buyer, or maybe if you have a bit more money and are able to sort of lash out a little bit and pick up the latest and greatest. Now, what is this I'm talking about? This is virtual reality. Virtual reality has been around for years at this point now, but I feel now more than ever, VR has really stepped up its game to be in the forefront and in the hands of users like yourself and me to honestly help sort of bridge that gap and give us the future or the next step in gaming performance and gaming graphics and gaming experiences in general. Now, I know VR in the past has seemed clunky, it has seemed a little lackluster, it has seemed like there has been many issues in the past, but I think today we're going to cover a lot of the reasons why I think VR has really stepped itself up and has really improved its game in comparison to the PS5 and Xbox One X. So in 2020, the PS5 and Xbox One X both dropped, and surprisingly, they were able to support 4K gaming out of the box, but at the severe lackluster performance of suboptimal frame rate and fairly low graphics quality, all at the same time while having very few actual compelling launch titles to force people to pick up a new console. Honestly speaking, these consoles might be new and they might have a few new titles today, but there aren't that many compelling reasons to pick it up. Looking back at the past, you would get a solid amount of frame rate and a solid graphical performance improvement moving from generation to generation. Now, with the PS5 and the Xbox One X, I really don't see that sort of improvement. I mean, you get 4K, but at the offset of having a lower graphical looking game, and at the same time having a worse performing 24 FPS running title. Now, if you compare that as well with the fact that these new consoles are both costing more than their previous generations, that all in all leads to a situation where at least I don't feel like you're getting that much quality out of these next generation consoles, while still being asked to pay more than you did for the last generation. Now, let's contrast the consoles with a modern VR headset. Specifically, let's look at the Oculus Quest 2, which is a $299 US headset. This is cheaper than any of the consoles you can pick up on the market, and in all honesty is cheaper than many of the other VR headsets that have come before it, because for the first time ever, you can pick up a VR headset to a $300 price point, which is absolutely phenomenal when you compare it to the actual console market and what you're actually getting for your money out there. If you have a look at the previous generation of VR headsets, whether that would be the Rift or that would be the HTC Vive, these headsets were very, very expensive, often very bulky and very difficult to wear, let alone the fact you needed to be tethered to your computer to have any sort of gaming experience. And on top of that, needing to spend a buttload of money on your computer to have a great gaming experience to complement that VR headset. Compare that through to the Oculus Quest, which is a $299 unit, which encompasses everything you need in there. It is able to play games at the highest of quality, you're able to have a phenomenal experience on the unit itself, and at the same time, if you do want to plug it into your decent gaming PC, you have the option of doing that as well, without really having to worry too much about needing a $700 or an expensive accessory just to connect your headset through to your PC. It is literally a $50 cable to connect your headset through to your PC, and you are good to go. Next up, let's have a look at the different gaming experiences you can have in VR versus the traditional consoles. Now, VR has definitely been emerging in the last couple of years, but recently VR has had a massive expansion of games in both the Steam side of things on the PC, along with the actual Oculus Quest store itself, which is all software running on the headset itself. And this really just leads to a phenomenal improvement for you and me as consumers. We're now at the point where we can start to have very in-depth multiplayer and single-player experiences on our VR headsets without really having to compromise anything at all in the way of gaming performance or having to be uncomfortable while using it or feeling motion sick, all at this really low price point. Compare that to the very traditional experiences you'd have on a console playing with a controller in front of a television. Me personally, I think VR has a massive standout here, because for the first time in potentially years, gamers, even just everyday enthusiasts of video games, are able to have a unique and very good experience of VR in a native and friendly environment as well, all while, once again, keeping it at that sub $300 price point. Now, to be objective, I do want to stop and highlight a couple of issues or a couple of drawbacks when it comes to the VR platform itself, just to make sure that you, as an everyday consumer, are able to make the best decision when it comes to the exact device that is perfect for you. Now, the first core problem when it comes to VR is, whilst there are new and many new gaming experiences on the platform, it is still in its infancy. Unfortunately for VR, it's still in that infancy phase where games are still coming out and games are still being tailor-made for VR, but there aren't many sort of compelling or exclusive titles that can only be found on VR. But what's really good about that is that VR games are unlike anything else. They are all experiences that are all tailor-made to have that immersion quality there, to be able to pull the user in and instill that sense of surrealness in your surroundings, to make you feel that you are in this zombie apocalypse, or that you are exploring through the wilds of space. And I think that is really the core of what VR is. Now, along with that as well, I want to highlight, to make the most out of your VR headset, it would definitely be beneficial to have a gaming PC to accompany your VR. You're able to still have a solid gaming experience and have an experience with friends by playing games like Beat Saber or many other VR titles. But If you really want to make the most out of this gaming platform, having a PC definitely helps, because you're able to have a gaming experience that pushes the boundaries a little further. You can offload all of the hardcore processing from the headset out to your computer itself, and you're able to just enjoy a more immersive and wider selection of games all in all. Alright, so wrapping this all up now. In 2021, consoles are a little lackluster. You can't really find them on shelves at all. Any consoles you find are overpriced, the gaming experiences you have on them aren't really that great, and all in all, there just isn't many reasons to pick up a console in 2021. On the other hand, you have VR, which is a new and emerging platform with many great titles to take advantage of everyday users, to draw you in and make you enthralled in gaming and just entertainment consumption in general. Sure, there are issues with VR all in all, but I genuinely think that it is the future of gaming, and I think that with the user base that it currently has, it is at the point now where anyone can just pick up a headset and jump right into it and be having a great time with friends and family. And along with that as well, this will open up the avenues for many other game developers to really take VR seriously and create better experiences for everyone as a whole. That's been my take on it, guys. Please let me know down in the comments. Do you think I'm just justifying the expensive VR for no reason at all? Or do you think that there's a genuine problem with the console market in 2021? I'd love to hear from you guys. As per usual, there'll be other videos popping up around your screen now. And until I talk to you guys next time, my name's been Pedro, and I hope you all have a great day.